What's going on, guys? Now, if you haven't been under a rock for the past 24 to 48 hours, let me fill you in on what's going on with Cloud9. Now, originally, Dream had taken some branding off of his stream. He stopped rocking the skins, and when we brought this up to him, he kind of said, noticers are noticing things. He made a joke about not really being in, Pro League anymore, and kind of, alluded to not being on C9 anymore. Well, he told us that around early February, he was going to have a big update for us. He was going to have this announcement to make, and it was going to change things. Well, surprisingly, as we grew closer, here within the last weeks of January, that now is completely just dropped on its head and flipped upside down, because a night ago, while streaming, C9 announces that they have dropped their roster, that they will be moving forward, and that the guys are welcome to re-sign if they want to, but as far as Cloud9 was concerned, it was thank you and farewell. Now, this came to a shock to a lot of people, because as far as we knew, C9 was in no way of looking out or looking to get a new roster. The players were acting as if nothing close to that was going to happen. So I just wanted to really kind of sit down and go over what has happened, what we know, what we're speculating, what we've been confirmed, what we've been, kind of side-eyed, and maybe not confirmed, but also not denied. A lot of what I'm going to talk about here is coming straight from Dream and from the players. Some of it is coming from sources I'm not going to name, because they can get in trouble. And, that's a gray area of information. How much of that information is true, how much of that is, backdoor conversations happening and then getting retold 3 or 4 times and then getting sent to me. Who knows? But what I do know, and what I will try to lay out is precisely and clearly in order, is 2 weeks ago, about Cloud9 came to the boys, and this is confirmed through Dream in his stream, and told them, hey, we are going to pay cut you guys about 75%. Now, I have someone close to the situation that has told me that this wouldn't pay rent anywhere in America to live. How bad this pay cut was. They then said, well, we'll give you 100% revenue of the skins. Well, that seems great, but at the same time, that can't supplement. There's no way that supplements that 75% drop. It probably moves it closer to 50%, but the numbers still, like I said, wouldn't pay rent in America, as I was told by someone close to the situation. They were told they were going to get their final 2 paychecks. Dream's confirmed they've only gotten one of those. This Friday, he said, would be the last one. And then they were told February 2nd to the 4th area, because he's showing the calendar. He's kind of circling those 2-3 days. He said that that's when they would be extended new contracts for what I was then told, once again, for a stage at that 75% cut, which I think is ridiculous. When you look back at the Beast Coast situation, where I believe they were given 2-year deals and it was a massive thing, and Cloud9 was going to give stability to a team, and even them pulling that deal, them turning around and doing this, it's super shady. It doesn't feel right, and we'll kind of find out maybe a reason why they have to cut an entire roster. And Dream had stated on stream he already wasn't going to come back. He was going to probably look for someone else. But the wording of the original tweet, I'm going to put it up on screen if I haven't already. The wording of the original tweet was very much so, we're not leaving, but we're not keeping this roster. Well, somebody messed up. I don't know if it's a social guy. I don't know if it's, there was a miscommunication with how it was written or when the tweet was supposed to go out. Blindsides it. Snake is streaming when it happens and reacts to it live. And actually, the C9 guys pull themselves into a chat, a Discord call, that we don't really hear, but we see happen on stream. And it's just kind of a clusterfuck. Well, they have since deleted the tweet, they have posted this new tweet, and this is where I'm going to start moving into speculation. I believe when they signed Demon 1 on Valorant, now I'm not a Valorant fan, but I know who Demon 1 is, and I know right now he hasn't had a team because he's a high-ticket substitute, he's a high-ticket free agent, it costs a lot of money. So what is being alleged and what is being speculated right now on Twitter is Cloud9 signs Demon 1 for a ridiculous amount of money, realizes they need to subsidize this somewhere, and we'll cut our rainbow roster down. Well, when they did that, and they realized, hey, this roster isn't going to stick around for, pennies on the dollar on a new contract, they said, well, we'll just cut them, and we'll sign, LFO standby, or maybe we'll reach out to JJ, which I have now been told that JJ isn't going to be signing with them. I don't know if that means that they have something lined up, or if maybe Cloud9 doesn't think that team is a team that's worth signing. But I've been told that JJ will not be the team that signs with C9. So maybe looking for a T2 team to pick up, and it would be easier because it's a lot easier to go to a tier 2 team or a team like Standby and go, hey, you haven't been paid, so let's pay you every 2 weeks $500, versus the current roster you have and going, hey, we're going to cut you down 75%, but we're going to give you skin bonus. Now, the skin bonus thing I think is super interesting in the contract, because this could lead to some big teams having to give up maybe not 100%, but a good chunk of it. And I'm sure for Brazilian teams, and when we do get an APAC team that might be the only team in the region, I know we have Elevate, but if we were to get an APAC team like Weibo in the R6 share, and they be the true only APAC team, that could drive a lot of money and a lot of fans, even if they're not a fan of that team, but a fan of APAC, to buy the packs and buy everything for that team, and that can lead to more money in the pocket. So with that being said, it seems like right now a lot's up in the air, unfortunately, for some really good players and some really good people. It's an unfortunate thing that happened, but C9 is C9 once again, and what can we do? I hope everyone enjoyed the video, and I hope everyone has a good day.